Hello beautiful people, it's another day for another delicacy that we want to prepare today guys. I'm gonna be preparing fisherman soup. The main ingredient, the main thing for this soup is the fish. I have obogo, we call it obogo here in Yoruba land, and I also have the Baracuda fish. So I'm not using too much of it, so we're gonna use everything in moderation. During the days that our forefathers used to make this soup, normally what they do is to prepare it according to what they were able to catch from the sea, from the when they are fishing. So whatever thing that they are able to get, that's what they use for the soup. Not all the time that they catch everything. Today I have the Baracuda, I have the white catfish as they call it, or you call it obogu. I have my periwinkle here already removed. I have the sea snail, which we call ngolo. I also have my cocoyam pest, which I blended and put here. I have Uziza seed ground, and I have onion, a little bit of Utazi. Instead of using bitter leaf, I have a little bit of Utazi here. I have my seasoning. Normally what my great grandmother used to do that time, sometimes if you don't have the fresh prawn, you use the dried one that you ground. So this ground dried prawn, that's what we have here. We have Uyaiya, that's what they call it in my place. Some people call it Uyaiya, I don't know. We have Herbanero pepper and the atarudo mixed together. So I have fresh tomato. During those days, our parents don't have blender to blend their tomatoes. They have stone, but some of them, when they don't have the stone to grind it, they cut their tomatoes just like this, just like our forefathers used to like it. They cut everything and put the whole thing together there. So I have our Uziza leaf, which is already washed and sliced. We're gonna begin now to add everything together into the pot. All right guys, we're gonna start with our salt. We'll season with salt. We'll put our ngolo, the sea snail. Go in with our seasoning cube. Don't forget that all these things I'm adding, the pot is not yet on fire. So I have my onion. The next thing we're gonna do is to put the tomato, the pepper, and because the pepper is up to this size, because fisherman soup is always very spicy. You put it in a way that you will not feel like vomiting after eating it. That's the way we normally make it, guys. We'll put this now. That goes in. The next thing we're gonna do is to put our Uziza seed. We're gonna mix everything together and start cooking. Guys, the pot is already on fire now. We'll go in with a little bit of palm oil, not too much. We'll allow it now to cook for about 12 minutes. We're not going to cook this for too long, so allow it to cook before we start adding the remaining of the things. I have not added crayfish yet, so we'll allow it now to cook for about 12 minutes before I add the crayfish. All right guys, the soup has been cooking for the past 12 minutes. The next thing we're gonna do now is to put our cocoyam paste. And allow it to cook for about another 10 minutes. But meanwhile, we'll allow the whole thing to dissolve properly. Please don't forget that when you're making this soup, yes, in other videos that we have been watching, that people are using prawn, shrimp, snail, the normal snail, the sea snail, periwinkle, fresh fish, and all that. Look, if you want to make fresh fish fisherman soup, like my people used to call it, fisherman delicacy. Normally the fishermen in our place, when they go and fetch, if they have the fresh fish and they have maybe periwinkle available, good. If they don't have it and they have prawn, they use. So the ones you have available, you must not have everything complete according to your pocket, to not kill yourself because say you want to make a fisherman soup. I'm doing with the ones that I have, and that's why you can see the ones that I use: the fresh fish, the sea snail, the periwinkle. My prawn, I have the dried ground one. That's the one I'm using. When you're stirring the soup, you have to be careful how you stir it. I will allow this to cook now so that the cocoyam will dissolve very well, guys. The cocoyam has dissolved very well, guys. The soup has been cooking all this while. The next thing we're gonna put now is our ground dried prawn. We'll allow this to cook some minutes before we put our periwinkle and Utazi leaf. So the last thing that will enter will be the Uziza leaf. Let's allow it to cook. You have to be careful when you're stirring so you don't scatter the fish. From the time you just added your crayfish, you don't need to cover it. The next thing we're gonna do now is to put our periwinkle, guys, and see how colorful it is. Let me put it this way. I'm just using my hand to put it because as I washed it and put it inside the plate, I don't want extra water from the periwinkle. Start filling the pot because you can see our thickener has done its own work, which is cocoyam paste. You can use Ofo, you can use Archie, any thickener of your choice. Add the small Utazi leaf at the same time so that they will cook together. I just put this Utazi just to get that little bitter taste in it, but it's gonna be very slight, so I'm not using much of it. You don't need to worry, don't be afraid. All right, the soup has been boiling all this while, so it's time for us to put our Uziza leaf. And at this point, we'll just stir the soup. We'll just give it a slight stir, not much, to make sure that the Uziza touches every part of the soup. You can use your spatula, you can use your cooking spoon, but make sure that you stir in a way that the fishes will not scatter. Fish will not scatter inside the soup. It will still remain as it was cut and when you put it. It's time for us to taste our soup now and see how the taste is. Don't forget, I tasted it before I even added the crayfish, so the taste was nice. The seasoning, the salt and everything that I used was, so this is lovely. This is lovely, guys. The pepper came out very well, the Herbanero pepper, the taste of all those things incorporated properly, and the whole thing went very well. So guys, that's how we make our soup. It's time for us to dish our soup now. So you can see our soup is ready. The fisherman soup is ready. The Uziza is still nicely so greenish, as you can see it. It's nicely done. So I'm going to make my banana and go and enjoy my fisherman soup. Let's go. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking my video. Thank you for always watching. Thank you for being there today, watching how I made my fisherman soup. We'll not go carry last now. So take your time, watch how I made mine, and do according to your pocket. Or no do follow because say you won't make a fisherman soup and go and kill yourself. Just do with what you have and it will come out nice. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like my video, comment on it, and equally share it. See you. Bye bye.